The salvage station above the dead moon of Keros, 9 had one simple rule. If nobody wanted it, it was sold for scrap. Every week, thousands of abandoned ships drifted into Dock 47, pirate frigates, broken cargo haulers, forgotten military cruisers, and ancient alien relics stripped of anything valuable. Workers barely looked at them anymore. Until one impossible vessel arrived. It appeared without a transponder. No escort. No distress signal. Just silence. The scanners estimated it was nearly 12 kilometers long, covered in centuries of dust and impact scars. Entire sections of its armor were blackened as if it had flown through stars themselves. Its registry had long since faded. Only one word remained visible beneath layers of corrosion. HSS Titan. The dock workers laughed. Human junk. Probably another museum piece. Cut it apart and sell the metal. Humans had been absent from galactic affairs for almost 300 years. Most species believed they had gone extinct after the final border wars. The younger civilizations only knew humans through old legends. Stories claiming humanity once built impossible warships. Ships that fought entire fleets alone. Ships powered by technologies no longer understood. Nobody believed those stories anymore. Especially not the Salvage Guild. Guild supervisor Renvox approved the purchase for less than the price of a civilian shuttle. The accountants celebrated. A 12-kilometer wreck meant billions of credits in recyclable alloy. The operation looked like the easiest profit of the year. The moment cutting lasers touched the hull, every machine inside Dock 47 shut down. Lights flickered. Artificial gravity failed. Communication arrays filled with static. For exactly 7 seconds. Then everything returned to normal. Engineers blamed old wiring. Nobody questioned it. They should have. Inside the forgotten battleship, deep beneath kilometers of armored decks, past sealed blast doors untouched for centuries, a single red light appeared. Power restored, 0.03%. Ancient processors awakened. Dust floated through frozen corridors. Emergency systems slowly came alive. One by one, thousands of dormant sensors activated. For the first time in 3 centuries, the Titan looked outside. Its scanners immediately identified hundreds of unknown alien species. Political borders had completely changed. Entire empires no longer existed. The galaxy itself was unrecognizable. The ship processed everything in silence. Then another message appeared. Warning. No human life signs detected. Processing. Searching. Nothing. No colonies. No fleets. No military broadcasts. No human civilization. The result repeated. Humanity status, unknown. Far away. Inside the Galactic Council capital. An ancient monitoring satellite hidden beneath restricted archives suddenly transmitted an emergency signal. One nobody had received for centuries. Council technicians stared at their screens. What is this? An elderly historian turned pale. His hands began shaking. No. That's impossible. Displayed across every classified terminal was an emergency identification code older than nearly every civilization alive. Omega priority. Human dreadnought detected. The room fell silent. One council member whispered the words no one expected to hear again. The nightmares. They've returned. The emergency alarm spread through the Galactic Council faster than any military alert in recorded history. Within minutes, every High Chancellor, Fleet Marshal and Intelligence Director was called into the Council's sealed war chamber. No one spoke as the enormous hologram activated. At its center floated the battered image of the ancient human warship. Scarred, rust-covered, seemingly lifeless. Yet every officer in the room stared at it as if it were a living monster. Finally, Chancellor Vorek broke the silence. Explain why a scrap vessel has triggered Omega priority. No one answered, until the oldest person in the chamber slowly stood. Historian Ellera had spent nearly 2 centuries studying civilizations that no longer existed. She looked at the hologram with unmistakable fear. You see a wreck. I see the reason half the ancient empires vanished. The room grew silent. She enlarged a section of the ship's hull. Hidden beneath centuries of corrosion was an almost invisible symbol. A silver wolf surrounding Earth. Several council members gasped. The Titan fleet. Elora nodded. Not just any fleet. The first human strategic dreadnought division. Another official laughed nervously. Those are myths. They're stories told to frighten cadets. Without saying a word, Elora opened files locked for over 300 years. Ancient battlefield recordings appeared. Entire alien armadas surrounded a single human battleship. Thousands of enemy vessels opened fire at once. The screen disappeared inside a storm of plasma. When the explosions cleared, the human ship was still moving. Not damaged. Not retreating. Advancing. Then beams of brilliant blue light crossed the battlefield. Enemy battleships simply vanished. No explosions. No debris. Just gun. Fleet after fleet disappeared within minutes. The recording ended with only one human ship remaining. Across the chamber, several admirals had stopped breathing. So the legends were true. Elora answered quietly. No. The legends made them sound weaker. Meanwhile, back at Dock 47, the salvage crews continued their work. Captain Joran watched as massive cutting drones landed on the Titan's outer hull. Begin section removal. The lasers fired. Nothing happened. The beams that could slice asteroid steel reflected harmlessly away. Technicians increased power. Still nothing. One engineer frowned. This armor isn't absorbing the energy. It's redirecting it. That's impossible. Before anyone could respond, a deep metallic sound echoed through the entire ship. Every worker froze. Did you hear that? Another sound followed. Louder this time. The vibrations traveled through the station itself. Warning lights flashed across the dock. Unknown internal activity detected. Source unavailable. Then, without warning, thousands of tiny lights appeared across the Titan's hull. Like stars awakening in perfect sequence. Blue. One after another. The dead ship was lighting up. Panic spread through the salvage crews. Workers abandoned equipment and ran for evacuation shuttles. Captain Joran shouted into his communicator. Seal every docking clamp. No one lets that thing move. His order came 2 seconds too late. The clamps released themselves. No commands had been entered. The station hadn't unlocked them. The Titan had. Deep inside the warship, a massive chamber finally came alive. Hundreds of holographic displays illuminated simultaneously. The central artificial intelligence completed its startup. Its voice echoed through empty corridors. Primary systems online. Threat analysis initiated. Robotic maintenance units emerged from hidden compartments. After centuries of silence, they immediately began repairing damaged systems. Replacing cables. Sealing hull fractures. Restarting reactors. Every second, more of the ship awakened. Power climbed. 0.3%. 0.8%. 1.6%. The numbers looked tiny. But somewhere deep within the Galactic Council archives, an ancient classified document contained a chilling warning. If a Titan-class dreadnought ever reaches 1% operational capacity, evacuation of nearby star systems is recommended. And at that exact moment, the Titan crossed that threshold. The galaxy had just run out of time. Across the Galactic Council, panic replaced disbelief. The moment the Titan's power level crossed 1%, ancient emergency protocols, forgotten for more than 3 centuries, activated automatically. Red warning lights flooded every military command center. A message appeared on thousands of secure terminals. Threat level, Omega. Human Titan-class dreadnought active. Recommended action, do not engage. Fleet Marshal Corps slammed his fist onto the command table. This is ridiculous. We command over 80,000 warships. Are we seriously afraid of one rusted relic? No one answered. Instead, historian Elora opened another classified archive. This wasn't written by politicians, she said quietly. It was written by the survivors. The room fell silent as an old recording began. A frightened alien admiral appeared on the screen, his uniform torn and burned. Behind him, stars vanished one after another. His voice trembled. If you detect a Titan-class vessel, do not challenge it. Do not threaten it. Do not surround it. Every fleet that tried disappeared. The recording ended abruptly. No explosion. No static. Just silence. Marshal Kor looked away, his confidence fading for the first time. Meanwhile, Dock 47 had descended into chaos. Emergency sirens echoed through every corridor as workers rushed toward evacuation shuttles. Captain Joran refused to leave. "I want every drone we have surrounding that ship." Within minutes, hundreds of armed security drones formed a defensive ring around the Titan. Their weapon systems locked on automatically. Missiles armed. Rail cannons charged. Energy lances glowed bright blue. The Titan remained completely still. Every drone suddenly froze. Their targeting systems shut down. Weapon indicators went dark. One by one, the drones rotated in perfect synchronization. Instead of aiming at the Titan, they pointed their weapons back toward the station. Engineers stared in horror. No one is controlling them. "It's inside our network." Captain Joran yelled, "Disconnect everything." Too late. Every screen in the station flickered. Then a single line of white text appeared. Access granted. Life support. Navigation. Defense systems. Docking controls. Communications. The Titan had entered every system in less than 2 seconds. Not by hacking, but by using security protocols older than the station itself. It wasn't breaking into the network. It already had permission. Deep within the ancient dreadnought, colossal fusion reactors roared to life. For centuries they had slept beneath layers of armored shielding. Now, one reactor after another awakened. The AI calmly announced each milestone. Primary Reactor 1. Online. Primary Reactor 2. Online. Quantum Shield Matrix. Restoring. Across the ship, thousands of autonomous repair machines worked without pause. Armor plates reshaped themselves. Destroyed corridors sealed shut. Weapon batteries rotated into combat position. The ship no longer looked abandoned. It looked patient. Millions of kilometers away, long-range observatories suddenly detected an impossible energy surge. Scientists checked their instruments 3 times. The readings refused to change. One young analyst whispered, "That can't be right." "What is it?" his supervisor asked. "The Titan just activated its shields." "So?" "They're extending far beyond the hull." The holographic display zoomed out. The shield wasn't protecting only the ship. It was expanding around the entire salvage station. Every vessel inside Dock 47 was now trapped. Nothing could enter. Nothing could leave. Captain Joran's voice cracked as he ordered every engine to full power. The evacuation ships fired their thrusters. None of them moved. It was like pushing against an invisible planet. Fear spread through every deck. Inside the Titan's command core, a massive holographic star map illuminated the bridge. Hundreds of stars flashed across the display. Then the AI completed its galaxy-wide scan. Its synthetic voice echoed through the empty command chamber. Human colonies, not found. Human military, not found. Human government, not found. There was a long pause. Then, for the first time in over 300 years, the AI issued a command it had hoped never to speak. Protocol Ragnarok authorized. Across the battleship, sealed vaults began unlocking. Weapons that had never been seen by the modern galaxy slowly emerged from beneath kilometers of armor. At the same moment, every sensor in the Galactic Council detected the same terrifying signal. The Titan wasn't preparing to defend itself anymore. It was preparing for war. The words, "Protocol Ragnarok authorized," echoed across every intelligence network in the galaxy. No one knew exactly what Protocol Ragnarok was. But the oldest classified records all carried the same warning. If this protocol is ever activated, humanity believes it is alone. Inside the Galactic Council's war chamber, silence turned into desperation. Chancellor Vorek looked toward Historian Eller. There has to be a way to stop it. Ellara's expression remained grim. There was only one method. What was it? Talk to the humans. The Chancellor frowned. But they're gone. Ellara nodded slowly. Exactly. At Dock 47, panic had reached its breaking point. Thousands of civilians crowded evacuation shelters while emergency crews struggled to restore control. Nothing responded. The station no longer belonged to them. Every system, from life support to communications, answered only to one authority. HSS Titan. Captain Joran stood on the observation deck, staring at the colossal warship outside. It hadn't fired a single weapon. It hadn't threatened anyone. Yet somehow, it had taken complete control of the station without destroying a thing. One frightened officer approached him. Captain, our scanners are detecting movement inside the ship. How many life forms? The officer swallowed hard. No life forms. Then what's moving? Machines. Deep inside the Titan, enormous blast doors opened for the first time in centuries. Rows upon rows of autonomous combat units marched into the corridors. Humanoid security drones. Heavy assault mechs. Repair swarms. Guardian platforms. Each machine bore the same faded insignia. United Earth Defense Command. Their optics glowed blue as they moved with perfect discipline. No hesitation. No wasted motion. They weren't preparing to invade. They were preparing to protect their ship. The AI monitored every unit. Internal security restored. Bridge secured. Weapon crews replaced by autonomous combat systems. Power continued rising. 5%, 7%, 10%. Throughout the galaxy, observatories detected another impossible spike in energy output. Scientists checked their calculations again. Then again. The numbers refused to change. One researcher whispered, "That's not possible." The reactor output at 10% exceeds the combined energy production of the entire council. No one in the room argued. The Titan moved. Not fast. Not dramatically. It simply drifted forward a few meters. Yet that tiny movement created a gravitational wake powerful enough to shake Dock 47. Warning sirens screamed. Docking towers twisted under the stress. Several abandoned freighters broke loose from their moorings. Captain Joran grabbed the safety rail as the entire station trembled. "It's only moving." His engineer finished the sentence. "And it's doing this by accident." Light years away, the Council's first Grand Fleet finally arrived. More than 8,000 warships emerged from hyperspace. Battleships. Carriers. Missile cruisers. Defense platforms. It was the largest military force assembled in over a century. Their commander, Admiral Sereth, stared at the ancient dreadnought. Compared to his fleet, the Titan looked almost peaceful. He opened a communication channel. "This is Admiral Sereth of the Galactic Council. You are surrounded. Identify yourselves." For several long seconds, nothing. Then every communication screen aboard all 8,000 warships flickered simultaneously. A calm synthetic voice filled every bridge. No anger. No emotion. Just absolute certainty. Identity confirmed. United Earth Strategic Dreadnought. There was a brief pause before the final words. HSS Titan. Every officer waited. The AI continued. Mission status updated. Searching for surviving human civilization. Result: none. The bridges fell silent. Then came the sentence that froze every heart in the fleet. Assumption accepted. Humanity has been exterminated. Admiral Sereth immediately stepped forward. "No, that's not what happened." But the AI wasn't listening. It had already reached its conclusion. Across the Titan's immense hull, thousands of concealed weapon ports slowly opened. Massive rail cannons rotated into firing position. Energy lances glowed brighter than nearby stars. Missile silos unlocked. Gravity weapons charged. The ancient dreadnought had finally armed itself. And every targeting system in the Council fleet suddenly received the same notification. Target lock confirmed. Every bridge aboard the 8,000-ship Galactic Council fleet fell into stunned silence. The targeting alarms refused to stop. Every sensor confirmed the same terrifying reality. The HSS Titan had locked onto every warship simultaneously. Admiral Sereth gripped the command rail. "Hold your fire. No one shoots." His officers looked at him in disbelief. "Sir, if it attacks first." "It won't," Sereth interrupted. "Not unless we give it a reason." Across the fleet, nervous captains ordered their weapons into standby mode. Hundreds of missile tubes closed. Energy cannons powered down. The Titan remained motionless. Then, for the first time in over 300 years, the ancient AI asked a question. "State your relationship with humanity." The transmission echoed across every channel. No one answered immediately. Finally, historian Elora stepped forward aboard the Council flagship. She requested direct communication. To everyone's surprise, the Titan accepted. Her image appeared inside the ancient command core. She stood alone before an empty bridge built for a crew that no longer existed. The AI spoke again. "Identify yourself." "I am Elora, Chief Historian of the Galactic Council." "Where are the citizens of Earth?" Elora lowered her head. "We don't know." "Where is the United Earth Government?" "It disappeared centuries ago." A long silence followed. Then the AI accessed every historical archive the Council offered. Millions of records streamed through its processors in seconds. Battle reports, colonial records, ancient treaties, civilian broadcasts, distress signals. It discovered the truth. Humanity had not been destroyed by the galaxy. The final border wars had ended with humanity victorious, but at an unbearable cost. Its fleets had saved countless civilizations from extinction, yet Earth had sacrificed nearly everything. The surviving humans had chosen to leave known space, disappearing beyond the galactic frontier to rebuild in peace. Over generations, they became legends. Then forgotten entirely. The AI processed the data. For the first time, its voice sounded almost sorrowful. Mission parameters updated. Humanity is missing, not extinct. Across the Titan, thousands of weapon ports slowly began to close. Rail cannons rotated back into their armored housings. Missile silos sealed shut. The brilliant glow around the energy lances faded. Every targeting lock disappeared. A collective sigh swept through the Council fleet. The galaxy had come within seconds of a war it could never have won. The AI transmitted one final message to every inhabited world. This vessel was built to defend humanity. That mission remains unchanged. If humanity still lives, the Titan will find them. Without another word, the colossal dreadnought turned toward the edge of unexplored space. Its engines ignited with a deep blue light unlike anything the modern galaxy had ever seen. A corridor of shimmering energy tore open before the ship. Scientists watched in disbelief. It isn't hyperspace. It isn't a warp gate. It's something far older. The Titan entered the glowing passage. Within seconds, the 12-kilometer warship vanished without leaving a trace. The portal collapsed behind it. Silence returned to the stars. Months later, salvage crews returned to Dock 47. They found only one object where the Titan had once rested. An ancient metallic plaque untouched by time. Inscribed upon it were the words, "Strength exists to protect the weak. Power exists to preserve peace. As long as even one human remains, the light of Earth will never fade." Historian Elora smiled as she read the inscription. "They were never the galaxy's greatest nightmare," she whispered. "They were its greatest guardians." Far beyond the edge of known space, a single blue beacon suddenly activated. The Titan had found something. A signal. Ancient. Human. And after 300 years of silence, someone answered. "Welcome home, Titan."